What a moment, what a night for the young war elephants of Thailand. Make it or break it, but even then, even if they don't make it through to the next stage, they have done so much already in this competition and have done things that the previous editions players, Chanatip, Songkrasin and Gang did not even do in the last couple of championships. 2016 and 2020 both served as Olympic qualifiers, and this time around make it year into the next stage. All they need is a draw, remember. They make it through to the next stage, and who knows, that ticket might be booked into Tokyo. That's all the Thais can ask for. They make a raft of changes, a couple of injuries and injury scares in that game against Australia, but they looked very tired and gassed out, especially in the second half when the Olyroos dominated in that match. It sees them make 7 changes to the squad, and the only players to keep their places in the team, Korafat Narichan, the goalkeeper, Titatonok Songtsri, who will be joined by his twin brother in the game in Titawi, and elsewhere Sarinkan Promsupa and Sufanat Muanta, the boy wonder, up front playing for them. Iraq to make 4 changes to the side. In comes Ali Qasim Amir, Muhammad Qasim Nasif, Al-Arad Al-Hamadani and Sadiq Jamil. But the more important change, of course, is Muhammad Qasim coming in. He has scored 2 goals already coming off the bench. This time he gets a start. The referee is from Jordan. And surprisingly, with Jordan also included, of course, just last night and drawing with Vietnam and almost making it through to the next stage. Adam Mohammad Makadmeh also refereed a Thailand game at the last edition of these championships. Thailand lost to North Korea that night by a goal-0. So the substitutes bench has the likes of Shinafat Liao, who is the Thai captain, and Supachai Jaided alongside the number 10 Supachok Sarachat. That's bond of Buriram broken for this match by Akira Nishino. Both coaches have been to the Olympic Games for their respective national sides, and both have had famous results against Brazil. Nishino's Japan beating Brazil at the '96 Olympic Games, and Abdul Ghani's Iraq beating, no, not beating, but drawing with Brazil in Rio at the last Olympic Games 0-0. The Iraqis, of course, finished 3rd at the last Olympic qualifiers in 2016. And here they are, hoping to end the hopes of host nation. They beat Qatar, the hosts, in 2016 to make it to the Olympic Games. It was a quiet night at the end of the day for Qataris after that match. They expected the home side to qualify for the Olympics, and already beating those host nation to qualify for the next stage. They're hoping to end the hopes of another host nation tonight in Thailand. All the Thais have already done so many things in this competition, and another one of those sorts is having 4 goal scorers in the 2020 edition of the Asian Under-23 Championships. That's as many goal scorers as they've had combined in their last 2 editions. The host nations haven't really done very well in this competition, aside from Qatar, who made it through to the semi-finals of 2016, 2014 and 2018. All the host nations were knocked out of the group stages. China, of course, won the opening match of the last tournament and were knocked out. Thailand are hoping it doesn't happen to them, because it was a very convincing opening win which got the crowd excited. And here they are now. A little bit of a false start at the start of it all, but the referees allowed it, even though the Thailand had a player inside the half of the Iraqis. You could see the Iraqis already stepping inside the Thailand half and ready to just attack any sort of ball that come their way. They will press at every given opportunity. First touch of the ball in the AFC Under-23 Championships for Titawi Oksomsri, the twin brother, of course, of Titaton. Number 7 is Wisarut Imura, who is side-by-side with Warachit Kanesrivunfent, player who is just pushed slightly forward now as they push the ball right down the lines. Jarawan Sak, who's already got 2 goals in this tournament in the opening match, having taken the place of Sufanat Muanta. Sufanat had become the first Thai player to score 2 in a game in this tournament. And then Jarawan Sak duplicated the feat by coming on for him. The 2 of them are starting tonight for Akira Nishino, whose side win an early corner. Well, he himself has said that the boys have already overachieved in this tournament with that victory against Jordan by a resounding margin. Ben Davis with his first touch of the AFC Under-23 Championships, trying to swing this corner in for the big heads. This one's looping high up. It was Titawi who got head to the ball, and just a hooked attempt at goal by Sarinkan, which is more out of hope than anything else. Captain for the night, Sarinkan, taking the place of Shinafat Liao, who usually wears the armband. The armband is worn by Ali Kadim Hadi of Iraq, the goalkeeper between the sticks, who has been called up for the national side but hasn't played a game for them. We've seen it already a couple of times in this championships. In fact, one time too many. And the Iraqi coach has been very vocal in his criticism of the VAR, as the referee has been too dependent on it. At least he thinks so. A VAR check on the penalty situation, because there might be a push on Titawi Oksomsri as he tried to head the ball into the back of the net from that corner. And it looks very innocuous. I'm sure it'll be called out. Still, though, the check goes on, and every time the referee puts his finger to the ear, the defending team starts getting a lot more nervous, and he might go on to the side of the screen right now. Yes, he will go to the side of the screen to have a look at this. The Thais might have an early penalty, and this will totally anger the Iraqis, who have been behind in every game of this tournament. They had to come back twice in that match against Bahrain, and then once against Australia. They're checking for handball, is it? Yeah, it is handball. The part of the Iraqis, I think it was Najim Shwan, the number 4, who put his hand up and couldn't get it out of the way. Came from the tie, it struck his hand, and it was heading towards goal. Is it going to be a penalty? Well, we saw a referee give it the other day between China and Uzbekistan for a situation which was much less than this. I am saying it will be a penalty, because as long as it strikes hand, even if it's accidental, the referees will give it. And that one certainly struck the hand of Najim Shwan. What an opportunity here in the opening minutes for the host country. This just adding to the drama of the Rajamangala faithful, and the Bangkok night might just explode into life. Titawi heads, there we go, that's contact with the hand. And as I said, in the match between China and Uzbekistan, it was even more innocuous than this, and the referee gave a penalty for Uzbekistan that night, and this time surely he's going to give this. VAR review says penalty for Thailand. Iraq cannot believe it. And their coach Abdul Ghani Shahad, who has been so vocal and so critical of VAR, is at the end of another review which goes against him. What did I say? He seems to be telling the bench. Najim Shwan was the one who went up for it, and it struck his hand. It was dramatic, wasn't it, in the way that it was reviewed. They couldn't make a decision up in the tower, so they told the referee to have a look at it by the sidelines. He did. It struck the hand of the number 4, who says, it did strike my hand, I admit it, but what could I do? Well, there's your argument there, isn't it? So who's going to take this now? It looks as if it's Jarawansak, Wongon. Usually it's Supachok who takes these penalties, but he's on the bench. Thailand have an opportunity to strike early. They have scored the opening goal of every game that they played so far, the opening 2 matches. Against Bahrain and then against Australia. They went on to trounce Bahrain. They couldn't hold a lead against the Australians. This will be so very early. Jarawansak Wongon for his 3rd goal of this competition. Only just, but the net is still bulged, and Jarawansak has jarred Thailand into an early lead. His 10th goal for the under-23s, and 3 of them have come in this competition. There is the handball. As I said, very cruel on the Iraqis. But you still have to put this away, and he did. Only just against Ali Kadim, who saw flashes of the ball, but couldn't hold on to it. And Nishino with a puff of the cheek tells you that the coach thought it was almost going to be a missed penalty. Well now, What's the response going to be from Iraq? They have a lot of time, remember. And they have been in this position before, but they are trailing. Titawi. What an early contribution from him in his first match of the under-23s. Going up for the header, which came off the hand of Najim. The referee's given a throw in, despite the fact that it was a very, very strong challenge that came in from Kanarin Tawonsok. Another one of those players starting his very first match. He did come on as a sub appearance against Bahrain in the opening match and played 2 games in the qualifiers. Well, it's the first tournament in the under-23s where VAR has come into play, and VAR, whenever it's come into play anywhere around the world, has always had its critics, has always been controversial, and this one is no different. First yellow card of the night, Wisarut right under the nose of the referee, coming on too strong that time and going in too hard on the challenge against Meche. Did play a couple of games at the SEA Games, Wisarut Muira. It's Korafat also played a couple of games, but it was always second choice to Not Mongnam. Moment Not was unavailable for these championships. Korafat was always going to be stepping into the limelight, and he pulled up a couple of incredible saves in that first match against Bahrain, especially when it was 2-0. That kept Thailand in the game. Well, Iraq going for a quick response here. That one's floating in the box. It's a free header. Not a 100% connection. He's asked for a penalty, and he's asked for a review at least. Well, players just running all over inside the box. Well, it didn't even come off the forehead of the defender, Sadiq. Thailand escape. That was very shoddy marking, you'd have to say. Iraq have got to engage Gear 4 straight away now. There's no time to slowly build themselves into this match. That was brilliant play by Ben Davies, who's kept the ball well enough. Brought back for Titawi on the outside to Pirawit, who scored a goal at the SEA Games against Singapore. Goal scorer Jadawan Sak tonight, Wongon. 2 against Bahrain, and the one here which puts him as the outright top scorer in this tournament now. Another free kick needlessly given away by Thailand. They can't keep giving away these free kicks in these dangerous positions and giving Iraq the opportunity to cross the ball inside and test that defense out, especially since it's a new centre-back pairing tonight. They will take some time to gel. The last thing they need is to have these balls aerially just bombarding them at every given opportunity. Tighter, says Nishino, much tighter than what happened earlier on, where the miscommunication was there for all to see, and there was a huge gap that opened up. This one didn't have the height to beat out Pirawat. The Thais closing down very quickly against the Iraqis, who are very composed on the ball and spread it around well enough. With an opportunity for a cross inside here, Mustafa Muhammad, who celebrates his birthday today, 22 years of age, the number 2. Might employ the long throw tactics. No, decides to get the ball back and look for the angle for the cross to come in. That is swung with a lot of height. Kirat Korafat just managed to get head on to ball and then does the needful in terms of the clearance. But it's nervous moments since scoring the opening goal, Thailand. With the Iraqis coming forward and testing the goalkeeper out already once. Another cross might come in now from Rida, decides to play the 1-2. They've worked themselves around Maisie and very, very cruelly, only to have that final ball hit out easily and cleared by Thailand, who have an opportunity now on the break. Jadawan Sak doesn't get head to the ball at all, but referee says it's going to be a free kick. It was Ben Davies actually who went clattering into Najim. Well, he's at the wrong end of the referee's whistle tonight, Najim Shwan. That handball decision, and that one that looked pretty legal against Davies, was happy to go down at any contact. The space opening up right now. It had to be kept. It wasn't. It is very effervescent and very industrious. Davis just skipping along and making sure that he created space for himself before trying to release the ball. That wasn't very clever from Pirawatsa. Could have allowed the ball to go out of play for a throw, deciding to keep it in, and didn't work. Iraq get the ball back with Al-Araad. And now try to slowly move the ball forward. Every given opportunity, they are going to hit it long, because it is a very unsure Thai backline tonight. It's good enough from Titawi, and then cleared by Pirawatsa. Only as far as Warachit, who needlessly gives the ball away. Has to be defended, and it was pretty well by Sarin Khan. Warachit couldn't get the better of Jaber, swinging it in. Titawi strong in the air, but still Iraq swarming and creating space themselves. It was spectacular in the end, that final effort from Kasim. Striker in form, a goal in each of his first 2 matches in this tournament. So when you're on that high, you're happy to leap that high, to take any sort of shots or contact to the ball towards goal. Well, Nishino needs to calm his charges down now. That's a perfect response from Abdul Ghani and his charges to how they're moving the ball forward. Their transitions have been very quick, sometimes going route one direct right at the heart of the Thai defense, where Sarin Khan and Titawi haven't really been in clear communications yet, starting a match for the very first time together. Time with the ball now. Meche yet again looking long. Murad this time finally has supports. He's played the first 2 matches as the lone striker, and sometimes it can get pretty isolated up there, where the ball's being hit over and you don't know which channels you're going to be running into. All you can do is just stay tight on the shoulder of the last man. And with a partner up front tonight in Kasim, at least there will be someone running side by side with him, trying to open the space up. And so far they have found channels inside that Thai centre-back pairing, and the likes of Huisarut and Kanarin haven't come back enough diligently to help out the centre-backs. Case in point, Tanarin missing out on another challenge. Iraq come forward again. It's just been one-way traffic since the goal was conceded earlier on. That's a brilliant cross. It should have been 1-1. Abdul Ghani knows all about it. Superb delivery, wasn't it? Absolutely brilliant. Right on the dime by Murad Muhammad. Did everything right. And then Kasim inside the penalty box. Couldn't get the final touch. Well, at least he got the final touch, but he couldn't put it on target, and that clearly has been the best opportunity of the night for Iraq. Well, this Rajamangala crowd is going to get quieter by the minute if this continues. Ben Davies a little too strong and too high with his challenge. Might be the second player booked by the referee for raising his foot. And a yellow card there. 2 ties already on yellow cards. Wisarut, and the latest now is Davis. Whose corner it was that led to the header which produced the penalty in the opening minute of the match. But since then, Iraq have buckled down and decided not to protest against the VAR decisions, and decided to just go about their own business, and their business of trying to score goals, because they needed to score goals anyway. They needed a win in this match. Here is Davis. Couldn't get around a couple of Iraqis who just swarmed down on him so very quickly. Meche. It's combined brilliantly well. Kasim, chance for the shot at goal. Flying save at the end from Korofat, and boy has he been busy. This time it was Murad. Crossed earlier on for Kasim with a header, decided to go for goal himself. And it was arrowing in, and Korofat had to intervene. Another corner for Iraq. Surely this Thai back line is going to crack at some point. Already there have been cracks at the seams. They just haven't been fully taken advantage of. And Thailand have an opportunity now on the break. Jaronsak ran himself outside, couldn't get it back in time, and this will be easily cleared in the end. Well, he's taken the chance by actually playing it inside his own penalty box, and he's moved and wormed his way around well enough. That was hard stopping, and that was bravery by Thailand to ensure the breakout didn't happen by Meche. The space opening up right now, but Titaton was always there covering. Wisarut all the way outside to Davis. And here is Peter Woods Akratum. Back to Davis. Not the best of passes, easily picked out by Mustafa. Titaton, the referee didn't see anything wrong with that and then decided to give it. Murad, the crowd feel making the most out of it. Well, Titaton had a storming first half against the Australians. Certainly got contact to the ball, and was a little bit of a follow-through against Murad as well. That's the reason why the Iraqi went down writhing in pain, although he was a bit theatrical. But Titaton was one of those players who were at the mercy of the chop this evening. It's kept his place somewhat. He looks very tired in the second half against the Australians, who were all over him. Yet again, very quick feet, clever movement by the Iraqis, but good enough in terms of closing down from the Thais to ensure that that shot didn't happen from Murad, who's looked very busy in these opening 18 minutes. It's almost as if he's been given that free role just behind Kasim tonight instead of just responsibly shouldering everything up front. It's not the best of passes by Davis, although he bites right into it to make up for his error. And gets the ball right back. Was told that the man was close by. Pretty good work from him, evading a challenge. Not the second one, though. Too many players in green just surrounding him. And there is a player in green on the outside now, overlapping in Rida. Meche. This one will be easy for the Thai goalkeeper. Great communication from him and the centre-back, Titawi. Mohamed Meche, who plays for Nafta Mashan. Scored a couple of goals for them last season in the Iraqi Premier League. Kanarin combining with Titaton. Just in front of him is Davis. Warachit has been pretty quiet so far. The 2018 Thai Young Player of the Year. Warachit Kanitsribumfen. Wisarut inviting Sarinkan to come forward. They certainly have missed the commanding presence and the leadership of Shinafat Liao, because the defense has looked pretty shaky so far. They've worked this one well enough, and that is a brilliant ball played outside with an opportunity for Peter Watson to measure this cross. Wasn't very well done from him, even had time to actually put foot on the ball and measure that cross, but he decided to take it first time. Sufanat, the boy wonder, was inside the penalty box. But that wasn't the cross that was needed to find Bank. "20 minutes played, Thailand still hanging on, and we can say that, hanging on to that one-goal lead given to them by Jaronsak. After 3 minutes from the penalty spot, Titaton, clever run throughout. Not the best of balls played forward, though. Actually, he was using Sufanat as a decoy, trying to go right inside to Jaronsak. Well, against Australia, he started back-to-back matches for the very first time in his career for the under-23s, and he's backed it up with 3 matches in a row right now. And we were commenting on it, wasn't it? Especially with that imperious display in the first half against the Australians, where he almost walked himself. They're hoping that he becomes the next Tiraton, but he plays very much like the old-school left-back called Dusit Cherlamsam. For those of you who remember, it's the same style, almost walking style. Warachit finally getting time to play in his favorite quarterback role. And he's assuming the leadership role right now. Now that Shinafat is not around, and that is actually just to tell his charges to hold things down a little bit. And this is exactly what Thailand need now. Just bring a few passes together, make sure that they're not going to play at the same pace and intensity as the Iraqis. Hitting the ball at 100 miles an hour, trying to find someone up front at every given opportunity. They don't have to do that. That's a brilliant ball played inside to Sufanat. Sufanat Wanta, who usually dispatches those with all the glee in the world. But this time, he just had too many seconds to think. And that was the opportunity gone away. The birthday boy, Mustafa, kept him onside at right fullback. And he just stole right through and almost pilfered a goal from out of nothing here for Thailand. Good work by Kadim, the goalkeeper, who made himself huge in the big moment. But Sufanat really should have made it 2-0. Well, in the first minute when Davis took a corner here, it led to the penalty. This time it's way too deep. Sarin Khan kept that one alive. Nafta will clear it though for Thailand, for Iraq I should say. Well, he studied the Iraqi backline, Akira Nishino. And they've shown in the first 2 games already how they'd love to move up together in unison. And sometimes the line can be held pretty high up. And the only way to beat it is for a run to come from deep. And Sufanat was the willing runner then, as he has been in the first 2 matches of this tournament. And he usually matches that with a lethal finish. Not that time though. Wow. Halfway through this first half, and we've had a glut of chances already from a team needing to win, but trailing by a goal to nil, and a team who only need a draw to qualify for the quarterfinals, and winning by a goal to nil, and wanting to extend this lead. They almost don't know how to play shut up shop Thailand. And once it's lights on all the way through. Sadiq side by side with Najim at the back. Here is Najim on the ball right now, number 4, who has played for the national side and debuted against Yemen in the World Cup qualifiers. Al-Arad combining in the center of the midfield with Abdullah Basayad. The ball finally gets clear on the outside. Al-Arad, and there's a very good tackle by Jarawan Zaka. Got all balls, says the referee. Titawi. Davis took it down well enough the first time, but then ran into trouble. And then was brave enough to make sure that he got his body in between ball and defender and won that free kick. It's brilliant work by Ben Davis. Well, we've hardly had time to draw breath. Neither has he, Abdul Ghani. And this his 60th game in charge of the under-23s since 2015. It's his 3rd tournament. It is a record. The free kick has gone against Thailand. It's actually Al-Arad who's won the free kick. Rad swings this in. Davis, who supposedly gave away the free kick, has held up play well enough. They give the ball away cheaply yet again. They need to take better care of the ball whenever they have possession of it. But at the moment, every time they have any sense of possession, any time they look up and not put their head down and run at their opponents, Iraq comes storming back at them and make sure that they bite into the tackles quick enough. They've broken the offside trap, but it was a little too long and easily into the arms of Korafat, who's had an outstanding first half, an outstanding first 26 minutes. The first Thai goalkeeper to keep a clean sheet to the AFC under-23s, remember. And this is how the table will stand if this result remains. Australia still drawing with Bahrain in another match which is being played concurrently. And Thailand, of course, winning here by a goal to nil, will top the group. Titaton, probably the most cultured left back in this tournament, inviting Wisaruta to take control and responsibility on the ball. Titawi. Pirouette back to Titawi. Well, he's slipped into that position pretty comfortably, hasn't he, Titawi Oksomsri? But couldn't tell that he's actually making his debut for the under-23s. Davis, Maisie run from him, took the shot, Supanat! Oh! Goalkeeper had to really spring and save. It was all he could do. That was the only angle he had. And he didn't have any time for a back lift to put some power behind that shot. And sometimes it's good enough when you place it into the back of the net, because Rida must have seen that very, very late. So the personal duel has started between Sufanat and Ali Kadim Hadi. So far it's 2-0 to the Iraqi goalkeeper. Korafat, Titawi Oksomsri. Played behind the defense yet again. Goalkeeper has come, goalkeeper doesn't get to it. And almost accusing looks spread round. And straight away, and Abdul Abbas was looking at the goalkeeper and saying, wasn't that yours? You called for it. And the goalkeeper said, you were in the way. How could I get to it? Well, that was the opportunity. And that had to be saved by Khadim. He keeps getting in those positions. And that's something you just cannot train. An instinct to get into the 6-yard box, right time, right place. Somehow Sufanat Muanta is just there. In what has been a record-breaking last 3 years for him. 2018 became the youngest goal scorer in the Thai First Division. 2019, the youngest goal scorer in the Asian Champions League. And earlier this year, of course, the youngest goal scorer ever in this competition. Korafat came and decided to stay on the goal line. Finally cleared by Warachit. Not very far though. It's Kasim who really got in the way of that shot, which came storming through by Sadiq, who's gone storming inside the box now. Murad. Davis was told there was man on, and that's very clever play from Ben Davis. Born in Phuket, Davis, and then moved to Singapore at a very young age, and schooled in Singapore at the Singapore Sports School, and then had that big aberration, wasn't it, a year and a half ago, when he tried to defer his national service in Singapore. Didn't really work out that way, and he's decided to take up Thai citizenship. There were some quarters as well as saying that he wasn't called up for the Southeast Asian Games because it was Singapore that were grouped with Thailand at the SEA Games. But a lot of it was down as well to Fulham, his club side not releasing him for that. They have released him for this, and he's starting his first match of this competition, and here he is on the ball again, getting very involved in the early minutes. Sarinkan Pomsupa. Wisarut. Well, here's the confidence of Titawi stepping forward now and saying, I think I'm enjoying this. He certainly is. Peter Watts happy to go all the way back to Kanarin. Peter Watts, well, he stole a march in front of his marker. That wasn't very clever that time from Abdul Abbas. That's all he could do was head it right back into Ali Kadim Hadi. Was just inches away, wasn't he, from actually getting a touch of the ball. He's conceded a goal in every match, the Iraqi goalkeeper Ali Kadim Hadi, in this tournament. And in qualifying, 3 matches, he did not concede a single goal. And everyone thought that was going to be probably their strongest suit coming into this tournament. But Iraq, for the 4th time at the AFC Under-23 Championships, go behind. And every time they have responded. So far tonight, they have tried, but they haven't been rewarded. Titawi, just anywhere would do from him. Just a looping clearance, and now King of the Air heading it away. The space opening up right now for Jarawan Sak. Well, actually, that was Warachit. That wasn't the best of passes by Pirawat. Korafat. Titawi Oksomsri His twin brother out wide, asking for the ball. Decides to go with the easy pass, and finally the ball came to his twin brother, but it never got there because it was a horrendous pass. That one was right across goal. A chance for the run and a shot to come from the Iraqis. Sarin Khan got in the way of that shot from Murad. Well, Nishino is livid, the coach, down the sidelines, because that certainly was a suicidal ball that was played out by Kanarin. He had the simple pass then with Sarin Khan square, but he went all gung-ho in Hollywood with that pass outside to Titaton and never got near him at all. And because of that, Thailand now have to deal with a corner, having settled down from the Iraqi raids, which lasted 15 minutes. Last 10 minutes, they have looked a lot more comfortable than they did after scoring early. So Ali Qasim, who's hardly featured, was one of the 4 changes that have been affected by coach, just to ensure that they have a cutting edge and more of a strike force in this game. Thailand have a free kick with Davis going down. It's been very sprightly and very involved in this match, Ben Davis. Rida it was who came storming into him. Well, these two teams met in 2018 in an under-19 game, and Mohammad Rida was one of the goal scorers for Iraq that night. The game ended 3-all. If we're going to have a game that is anywhere close to that entertainment, we're in for a special night, I can tell you, because that was one of those games that lived long in the memory. Sufanat Mwanta actually came off the bench to score for Thailand that night. He's already missed 2 tonight. That's a mistake at the back. Jarawansak. Magnificent goalkeeping against the goal scorer, who didn't really have the confidence to lift the ball over him. But this was horrendous defending that came from Abdullah Basa. And Jarawansak, he certainly has the pace, but just not the nous to lift it over the goalkeeper. But you'd have to say, very well done to Ali Kadim. Sprung off his line like a real jack. That's a little clown that scares you at the end of the day when you open the box and that pop-ups which you do not like. Well, Ali Kadim certainly one of those from out of nowhere, just gobbled the ball up. Sufanat wanting support and finally gets it from Pirawat. Great work by the fullback Pirawat. Goal-scoring fullback extraordinaire. Ask the Singaporeans, they know all about it. They were at the end of the 3rd goal for Thailand, which was scored by him at the Southeast Asian Games. Well, they know what the Iraqis can do in terms of the firepower up front and how fluid they can be when they start switching their players around, especially the front 2 of Qasim and Murad. So, with that knowledge, cognizant of the fact that Iraqis are chasing the win, Thailand know that anytime they have an opportunity in the opponent's half, they have to take full advantage of it. I can tell you that Australia have taken the lead against Bahrain. So if the results remain, then Australia will go into the quarterfinals as group champions of Group A, with Thailand also qualifying in 2nd spot. Australian goal was scored by Ramin Najareen, a player that they call the Riyad Mahrez of Australian football. At least they're priming him to be. Iraq now trying to bide their time and build some tempo of their own instead of going at a quick pace and quick passes. Thailand, though, are going the other way around with that ball lifted over the top. That is quite an exquisite touch. Not the finish to match from Sufanat. Wears his age on his jersey, and sometimes you wonder, is he really 17? I mean, look at that. It is a tough skill to take it down. So the next thing you do as a centre forward, a very good centre forward, is to touch it into space that you're going to run into. And he certainly did that and more. Just can't find the finish. He's left his scoring boots in the locker room tonight and has found a very stubborn goalkeeper in Ali Kadim. Davis has been a very willing ally just behind him, and they have combined quite superbly, those two. Mustafa the latest to bring down Ben Davis. Singapore's lost, Thailand's gain. And so far, he's looked a real bonus in this setup for Thailand. I used to think that when you bench the likes of Supachai and Supachok, that it was always going to be a huge chasm between the starting 11 and the players on the bench, but maybe not anymore. Here is Davis, who's decided to go for goal. Never really dipped in time. Akira Nishino will be pretty pleased. But he's got to watch. And he's got them to be locked on. Focus completely with the task at hand, because it was the final minutes in that first half where they conceded against Australia, and they came out in the second half and were a completely sluggish side compared to the first two matches, well, at least the first game and the first half of that second match. So defensively, they've got to be organized, disciplined, and more importantly, obdurate. Sarin Khan into space, asking Davis to run onto it. Oh, I was very lucky then, because Peter Watts had actually kept Kasim onside. Then header on by Ali Kasim to Mohammad Kasim. Almost found the centre forward. Jadon sucked into space. That is a very clever ball and a subtle, delightful touch. Davis, players running inside and outside of him, decides to go outside at the end. There are players in the box waiting for a good delivery, which comes all the way to Sufanat, but never got to him. Thunderous efforts from Jadon Sak, kept it down, but not on target. Warachit, who is usually one of the most cultured exponents of that dip ball, wedged it inside, not to be beaten. Najim Shawan. Jadon Sak misses that, but his main contribution still remains. That penalty in the 3rd minute, which has given Thailand a lead. Goalkeeper didn't come. Well, Korafat, yet again, on different chat groups with Titawi Oksomsri, who thought, for all the care in the world, the keeper was going to make this his. He was nowhere near that. Murad dragged it wide. That's what we were talking about earlier on, that they have to be switched on, the Thais. Australia caught them napping at the right time just before half-time, punished them, and took that punishment to another level in the second 45 minutes. Well, here, Iraq certainly have the personnel and the offensive armory to inflict the same sort of punishment. Warachit, clever easy ball back inside. Here is Wisarut Imura. Kanaren Tanonsak outside to Sufanat Muanta, dropping very deep just to get involved and get a touch on the ball. So we already had 3 shots on target, all saved by the goalkeeper. A couple of them which probably would think he should have scored. Davis, brilliant ball by Davis. Sufanat Muanta, another opportunity spurned by the number 17. He cannot believe it. Maybe it's just not his night. Magnificent by Ben Davis, lofted over the top. Sufanat broke the offside trap, and he normally just blasts the ball without a care in the world. Yet another opportunity and yet another chance which you think, if he didn't have time to actually ponder and take that strike immediately, it might have been a different result altogether, because he is such an instinctive striker, isn't he, Sufanat Muanta? And the moment he has to look up, and the moment he decides where he wants to place, that's when the shot becomes a feeble effort. But Ali Kadim has come to the Iraqis' rescue 4 times over already. Thrice against Sufanat Muanta. Ali Qasim, Mohammad Qasim, the furthest player forward, as he's been all night long, and the ball's dragged to him. Titawi scared off. Mohammad Qasim trying to open the angle up for the shots. Ali Qasim, who had started the move up, tries to keep it alive, and they go all the way wide to Mustafa. Was that handball? I think the referees dragged it back for a free kick to Iraq. Or is it a free kick to Thailand? What's he given now? It was a decision given by the assistant referee. Flag went up straight away. Was it for offside? Mohammad Qasim, he certainly wasn't involved in play. So that is a very strange decision given by Mr. Parakrama of Sri Lanka. Two minutes remaining. Davis has been a real star in this first 45 minutes. Been all over the pitch and been so difficult to pick out by Iraq. Yet again, they look for the player behind the defense this time, Horachit, who doesn't have the same sort of pace to burn as Sufanat. He is playing in an almost unfamiliar role. Horachit Kanatsrivumfen, who before Sufanat Muanta's arrival was the youngest goal scorer in the Thai Premier League. That record only stood for a year plus. Tackle was very good. Wisarut, Sufanat, still Sufanat trying to poke it through to the man who actually won the ball in the first place. Charo Unsuk hoping that it dropped right onto his favorite left-right peg. Doesn't. Pirawat takes over right now. Still Pirawat. Sufanat available. Sufanat Muanta. Corner Thailand. Ben Davis at the end of it, trying to get there before his opponent. But Abdul Abbas with the outstretched foot just in time to tow it away for a corner. Well, it might be an under-23 Thai side, but the two brightest starlets on the pitch have been a 17-year-old and a 20-year-old. Sufanat and Ben Davis. Sufanat just failing to get to the ball before Medje. And now space opening up for birthday boy Mustafa. Sadiq, Rida, Mustafa, very deep with the cross. Well, Peter Watts was not going to take any chances despite being told that there wasn't anyone in close attendance. 3 added minutes, a lot of it down to the fact that the referee had to come out of the pitch to the pitch side TV screen and have a look at the early minutes and give the penalty after that. Sufanat almost putting his team right back into trouble. Charo and Saku with the cleverest and softest of touches. This is Thailand at their very best, playing themselves out of trouble quite brilliantly. Sufanat Muanta almost taking the run all by himself, and brilliant by Thailand. That was excellent work by the young War Elephants. That was absolutely brilliant. Always through from the back at the moment Charo and Saku Wongon took that very cultured soft touch, almost as if his right foot was made of beanbags, took it down and then set it off to Ben Davis and Sufanat, and between the two they went off on that run, which befuddled this defense and flummoxed this Iraqis backline, who can't deal with them, and give away another free kick. Free kick which is wasted, taken too quickly by Kanarit. Murad, tackle was good enough by Titaton. Rida usually bounces himself just beneath that Thai defensive midfield slot, makes himself available and floats just behind his front two of Kasim and Murad Mohammad Sube. Here is Ali Kasim. Very hopeful cross, which found no one inside the penalty box. The moment he gets out, he usually is the fox in the box. No one takes his place right inside the radar. Sadiq to Rida. The two pocket rockets combining with quite a brilliant ball, and it was played a little softer. It might have set Mubarak on its way to goal. So gaps have been found in the Thai backline time and again, sometimes with far too much frequency for the liking of coach Akira Nishino. But somehow they have survived with some sturdy goalkeeping and luck on their side. And at the other end, they always will fashion chances, especially when they have a player who is born to score and get into goal-scoring positions in Sufanat. Tonight's just one of those nights where he hasn't taken advantage of it. Davis yet again weaving himself through this Iraqi midfield that cannot stop him. Pirawat. Great defending by Kasim. And a brilliant pass as well. Sarin Khan has got to keep pace with Murad. Still Sarin Khan. Great work by Sarin Khan from Supa. And that was such an important intervention. That might be the end of the first 45 minutes as well. 45 minutes which started off in controversial circumstances when Thailand had a corner swung over by Ben Davis. It was headed onto the hand of Najim Swan. The referee took a couple of minutes to look at the TV screen and from there decided to give the penalty. A penalty which was dispatched just about by Jadon. In their history. And with Australia drawing 1-1 with Bahrain as well in the other game, it means that they might even go through as Group A winners. And for Iraq, they've their 7-match unbeaten run at the AFC U23 Championships under threat now. 45 minutes left to rescue something with this and maybe even snatch their first victory of this competition in this 2020 edition, which will see them through to the next stage. Win for them will qualify for the quarterfinals, that's for sure. Remember, at the moment though, they're 45 minutes away from suffering only their second defeat ever in the AFC Under-23s. Their last defeat came 26th of January 2016 when they lost to Japan in the semi-finals. They made up for it by winning in the 3rd and 4th placing and qualifying for the Olympic Games. Really, they should have been more than 1 goal down at the break if Sufanat, the man on the ball now for Thailand, had taken his chances in that first half. Titawi, who grew with confidence with each passing minute in that first half, has now really grown side by side with Sarin Khan in that centre-back role. Sufanat combining with Borachit. Sufanat again, who is supposed to be playing that out-and-out striker role tonight, but he's so used to being deployed down this left-hand side and coming in from the flanks that he's starting to hug that sidelines yet again. Wisarat, Davis, the ball that's played out just in time for Pirawat. And that has been the instruction from Akira Nishino, who did note that at the start of the second half, they tried to match the Australians in terms of intensity, and the game became a little too frenzied for the Thais, and they couldn't keep up with it. Because of that, they just started conceding silly goals by allowing the defense to become too flat, and too much gaps opened up. Titawi came storming in with the challenge, which was necessary. Mohammad Kasim ensured that the ball is kept with the players in green. Rida, Medja. Slide rule pass was a very good one, and it's onside. Mohammad Kasim. Great tracking back by Jadon Sak, the goal scorer. I wouldn't have counted anyway because the flag had gone up. But the moment Mohammad Kasim got involved, that's an early involvement as well from the number 14, the substitute, who is just offside. Abdul Ghani. What's he got in his plans now? 37 wins in this, his 60th game in charge. Took the team to the 2016 Olympic Games. I'm sure he had dreams of qualifying for it. Iraqis have been at the Olympic Games 5 times over, and who can forget what they did at the 2004 Olympic Games when they finished 4th. Against all odds in Athens, they were one of the fairy tale stories of the 2004 Olympic Games. And the players who played there, the likes of Yunus Mahmoud, became not just Iraqi superstars, but household names of Asian football after that. They did go on to win the Asian Cup a few years later. A reminder to these young stars what can happen to them. Hussein's already shown a more direct approach, and one that's locked straight into the heart of the team and making sure that he carries the dagger with him wherever he goes with that right peg. And it's taken him just 3 minutes at the start of the second half to show his intentions. That cross easily defended at the near post by Titaton. Sadiq. Medja. Mustafa outside of him. Medja decides to go all by himself. That's very good defending first time out. Not so the second time. The cross comes in and it's gone in. It's an equalizer early in the second half for Iraq. And it's that man again, his 3rd goal of the competition. Mohammad Kasim. First piece of defending was very good from Titaton, in the sense that he was there, but it was very poor in the sense that he didn't get any sort of connection onto the ball. It is a cruel deflection in the end that put it into the back of the net via Supanat Mwanta, who finally puts a ball into the back of the net. It's just the wrong net for the 17-year-old. And Iraq are back. Thailand now living on the edge. Warachit tried to do it all by himself, went down, the referee wasn't interested. It's the last thing Thailand needed, which was to concede early in the second half and give the Iraqis hope. Well, at least in this match, they have the stars to call from the bench. The likes of Sufanat's brother Supachok and Supachai Jaidet. They've been told to warm up just in case they are needed. Warachit's pass, way too feeble. The Iraqis on the ascendancy. Early goal in the first half, early goal in the second half, 1-1. It's set up for a compelling final 40 minutes. Qualification on the line. And boy, do these Thai players, I'm sure, as the minutes tick by, especially going into the final stanza of this game, they will be feeling pretty nervous. Who's there to lead them over the finish line? Mustafa had to go back. Rida, clever enough ball, and Titaton. It was actually Warachit who came back to help out the defense before Mubarak, or Mustafa I should say, could break clear. Hussein comes right across to take the latest corner. It was his first corner earlier on which disturbed the Thais a little and forced the breakaway a few seconds later from the other side, which led to the opening goal for the Iraqis. 4th time they've been behind in this tournament, and all 4 times they have come out and equalized. The pace shown here by Jadon Sak was frightening. That was all there was to it. Free kick. Sadiq took a very late challenge after dispatching with the ball. Pirawat was never getting anywhere close to it. Pirawat Akratum was on loan, of course, this parent club Buriram, now calling him back for the new season. There is Super Chai and Super Chok side by side with one another, numbers 9 and 10 respectively. Might they be needed for the final stages of this match? Maybe in the case of Super Chok, just to handle matters and calm things down a little, hold on to the ball a lot longer. Davis, who was doing that in that first half, has hardly touched the ball in the second. That goal by Kasim has certainly tranquilized the crowd, because they've been sniped into silence. But now the cheers are up because Super Chai Jaided is running across them and running to the bench. It looks like he will be called into action. Still searching for his first goal of the tournament. Titaton battling hard enough and well enough. Davis taking over control of the ball for Thailand. Davis has just nipped, he's just sunk himself in between a couple of challenges. Very clever from Ben Davis. Had to be taken out by Medje. Free kick to Thailand. Quick feet. Spatial awareness was very good, wasn't it, from Ben Davis? Well, the Buriram Bon will be brought on right away. And when that happens, they usually mean business. That's Nishino saying, let that team on the pitch now complete this free kick before I bring on the super subs. And literally, they are super subs. Super Chai and Super Chok. What a ball that one was to find Davis. What a takedown as well from Davis, who killed it instantaneously. Warachit combining well enough with Sufanatsa. Back to Warachit, just slightly behind him, had to check. There are players in the box waiting for a good delivery, not a lot though, and because of that they decide to just bring it back, recycle it. Sufanatsa saying for a little bit of calm. Davis just managing to get some contact onto the ball, but it was only good enough to feebly head it into the arms of the goalkeeper, cut him. Just got above the ball, didn't he, Ben Davis? And now the super team can come on and hopefully affect a change in this Thai side. The crowd need a lift. The crowd get a lift. Ben Davis's number is called. Super Chok surely will take his place. They were in dire need of an out-and-out striker. The other number raised is Wisarut. The defensive midfielder, Super Chai Jaided, will take his place. Super Chok already a goal in this competition. Super Chai desperately in need of one. And now they have an out-and-out striker to hold on to the ball as long as possible. Whenever it's played up front, Warachit will go back into that central defensive midfielder's role, just to help out the defense a little bit and play in his favorite quarterback role, instead of right up there with the likes of Sufanat and Super Chai. Almost is a bound to the step of Sufanat as well with the arrival of his Buriram brothers, especially his blood brother Super Chok. Iraq though are on the ascendancy and don't look like slowing down. Shot that just stormed right through, but too many bodies from Thailand in the box protecting it. Mustafa finding space, looking for the angle for the cross. It's drilled in well enough. Sarin Khan is there. It's going to be handball and a free kick to Iraq. Maybe it was a late challenge that came in on Murad. Well, Hussein's just been brought on to take these dead ball situations, of which he's delivered a very deadly corner already. And now he's got a perfect position to swing one in to really disturb this Thai defense that can be disturbed, because the Iraqis are just being pests at the moment and running rings around this defense and just making sure that they put in as much confusion as possible. This handball, not that late challenge by Supachai. So here's Hussein. Very dangerous position. Way too deep though, that cross. Abdul Ghani knows 1-1 is not good enough. They need to seek the victory. Might that be that final change that they have to bring on for Thailand in Sorawit Pantong, who's just had an outstanding tournament. First touch by Supachai, which is to head it out of Najim and win the throw for Thailand. Well, he plays so well for the senior Supachai, scoring goals for fun for them. But it's a different game altogether for the juniors, where he is a marked man. Sometimes plays in the central striker's role. When he appears for Buriram, it's slightly behind that central striker. Supanat, almost a perfect ball, pierced right through the heart of the defense for his brother Supachok. Telepathic understanding between the two brothers as Sarinkan wins the ball ahead of Kasim. Space opening up right now for Kanarin. Supachok finally, time on the ball. Sufanat delivers it right in. Oh, there were two players at the far post. One was Supachai, the other one was Jadon Sak. Pirouette dived in twice over and got contact to the ball, so he got away with it. Supachai Jaidet to Supachok, Sarachan. Kanarin. Warachit. They've got to go back, all the way back, but they're happy to do so. No urgency in this Thai side. This result will get them through to the last 8. Supachai. Get it back from Supachok. Still Supachai Jaidet. Well, it last came off the number 9, and it's going to be a goal kick to Iraq. It looks as if it came off the number 5, Abdul Abbas Ayad. Second substitution now for Iraq. And it'll be the last contribution from Abdul Abbas. Muntadeh Sata. His place was sacrificed at the start of the day because he had a very slight knock leading up to this match. He will be needed just to add some steel into the Iraqi backline, but they're not going to make the substitution until this corner is taken. It's Warachit Kanit Srivumfen. The target man is the 1.9 meter Supachai Jaidet. Swung in well enough. Supachai was right in front of Ali Karim, who matched the flight of the ball superbly. Supachok, yet again, brilliant in terms of closing down on the ball and winning it. Sarin Khan told to just remain calm and step on the ball. Yet again, told to remain calm this time. It's the figure of Sufanat. Pitawi to Kanarin. A lovely ball, just slightly ahead of Sufanat. Got a little bit of a deflection on it. Supachai. Closed down very quickly, taken away from him. Oh, Tita Tons completely lost the flight of the ball, and he was very lucky as Murad couldn't keep it in play. Past the hour mark. Iraq have already got the comeback goal. Can they complete the comeback this time out and turn a defeat into draws? The previous 2 matches, they've turned defeat into draws. They need to turn defeat into victory in this game. Great skill by Supachai. Surely that's a free kick. Sadiq couldn't understand it. But it is the correct decision. Akira Nishino. How can his heart rate take it? He is 65 in April. This is not very healthy living for a man who's been AFC Coach of the Year before. Chance for the breakaway. Look at the space opening up down this left-hand side for Sufanat. Supachok decides to go all by himself and spanks the ball right into the back of Najim. Sufanat still inside the box lurking. As the keeper kept it in play because there was a deflection going towards goal. The answer is no, it's going to be a corner. Well, Supachok had the opportunity to release his brother. Look at this space opening up down this left-hand side for Sufanat. So that was the ball that was supposed to be played to him. But the moment Jadawonsak ran into his path, that was when the chance was lost. So he decided to go for goal himself. And he went right into that huge figure of Najim Shuan. 3-on-3 break. The Thais couldn't take advantage. They still have a corner though. And Supachai is still up there. Warachin, good height on the ball, but it went right into a sea of green. Warachit, clever enough knock through. Najim. Brilliant work by Medje. The pass didn't match it though. The moment he opened up his strides, there was no stopping him. The only way was to take him down, of which the Thais didn't want to, understandably. Well, all those misses in the first half from Sufanat Muantai, especially the two where he went one-on-one with the goalkeeper, come back to haunt the Thais. It's a free header. It wasn't very convincing from Sadiq. Warachit really trying to boss matters at the moment. Jadawonsak profiting from a mistake by Radar. Still Jadawonsak gone. Free kick just outside the penalty box. Mercha saying that I couldn't do anything about it. A little bit of wizardry from Jadawonsak Wongon. Two goals at the SEA Games, 2 goals against Bahrain, 2 goals against. 2 goals for Samut Prakan, his club side last year, and 3 goals in this tournament for him. Outright top scorer until Mohammad Qasim scored the equalizer for Iraq. Just like those 2 individuals, these 2 teams deadlocked. Will there be another breakthrough for Thailand? Will Bahrain, will Iraq, I should say, trail for the 5th time in this competition? It's unbelievable, isn't it? They haven't taken the lead at all. It's a disappointing free kick in the end by Supachok. Gives the responsibility to Warachit, and that's a very clever ball to Titaton. On target, but an on-form goalkeeper has kept it out again. That's the reason why they've given him the captain's armband. It would probably have been a perfect performance if he had kept out the penalty. He was inches away from keeping that out early on. This didn't look convincing, but at least it didn't get past him. And it was an SMH moment for him, the way he tried to save that one, volleyball style. He's taking the paints right into the face now. A face palm for Rida Ali Kadim Hadi. But in the first half, that hat-trick of saves from Sufanat certainly kept Iraq in the game. And that one prevented Titaton from his first of the tournament and has certainly given Iraq hope. Remember, They have not been in front at all in this tournament. It's one of those things where somehow, right at the end, the first time they're in front might be decisive. It might be the knockout blow for the home side. Football can be cruel at times. Jaroensak to take the corner. He's already scored one. Is he going to create one from this? In his first start of this competition. Delivery is good enough. So was the defending. Another free kick. Iraq give away in a very dangerous position. This time Hussein Jabbar, the substitute, came storming in and clattering and telling the referee it was a 50-50 situation. Surely he couldn't do anything about it against Superchok. Will Superchok be fit enough to get up and take another free kick? It was a disappointing one the last time. Didn't have any sort of height at all from that free kick. Didn't get over the wall. But he always stations himself just outside the penalty box, doesn't he? Any chance that the ball dips right outside the penalty box, he's there with a dipping volley of sorts. Good spell for Thailand. Recovered from conceding the early equalizer. And for a while they were all at sea. But the cheers cascading down from the stands have held the players firm in unity, and slowly, especially with the two substitutes coming in, just to add the balance into the squad. They have settled and probably have had the better of the exchanges since the subs have come on the hour mark. Well, it will be Jaroensak, one gone. Warachit, who is pretty good with the dead ball situations, just showing some interest, but they've all gotten out of the way. He's the top scorer. He's the one with the hot hand. Why not give him the opportunity? Jaroensak! Woohoo! Not far away. Just shaves that upright. Shaves the angle of post and bar. Not the happiest of birthdays for Mustafa Jabir, but you know what? It can all turn very quickly. One of 4 players in this team who played at the 2013 Under-17 World Cup. Qualified for a couple of Under-17 World Cups, 2013 and 2017. Mustafa, not the most accurate of passes, but it still finds the feet of an Iranian in Meche. Mustafa trying to open the body up for a cross, and it's a very dangerous one. It had to be defended in the end, and it was by Titawi Oksomsri. Just a little bit of the locks getting involved in that against Kasim. A strand of hair, and that was the big difference. Kanarin Jaroensak. Great show of sportsmanship from the Thais. They have been lauded from every team, especially with what they did with the Australians the other day. They might have lost against the Australians, and they could have qualified for the quarterfinals with victory in that match. And the spectators actually showed strength of unity and support with what's been happening in Australia now by putting up a large banner to welcome the Australians to the stadium that day. Pictures of that went out viral, showed the hospitality that Thailand always reserves for everybody that visits this beautiful country. I'll recap again. Early handball that led to the opening goal by Jarawonsak, scoring his third of the competition. And then, just to reply that, Mohammad Qasim, I don't know if that'll go down as an own goal for Sufanat, but he will claim it. And that is also his third of the competition. Qasim was told by the referee that he's got to go out to receive treatment since he's gone down. Still 1-1 between Australia and Bahrain. Corner swung right in, had to be defended, and it was the big man in front, Supachai, who got that one away. Rida danced cleverly away, and he's won a free kick now in a dangerous position. Very, very nippy. We haven't seen that side of him yet with those twinkling footwork in this game. And the moment it finally surfaces, he's won Iraq a free kick in a position of real danger. Omer Abdulrahmanasi is ready to come on. But will they need him? Or will they need a defender heading into the final 15 minutes of this match? This might be decisive. Thailand have to watch. They all live in hope. The Iraqis, remember, the team with the most stellar of records in this competition, in danger now of going out. 14 minutes to survive in the 2020 AFC Under-23 Championships. Rida strikes straight at goal. And you'd have to say very good goalkeeping by Korafat Narichan. Any goalkeeper might have just spilt it, but he gathered it. It's the confidence that has been built. And it's a second decisive save from him already. Made a very important stop in the first half as well when Iraq came storming back after conceding that penalty. There's a bit of silence that has befallen the Raja Mangala Stadium as anxiety takes over in the stands. You can understand why. Heart-stopping moments. They need a draw. They are on a draw. But they are defending with all their might. Every clearance cheered on by the Thais. Every intervention applauded as if it's a goal scored. And this has to be stopped. Iraqi has gone down, injured. The Thais don't care. They will play on. No, they're happy to eat up time and eat up seconds. The crowd not happy with it, but Jarawonsak probably, if they were trailing, might have gone forward and gone for a strike at goal. The Thais now reminding the Iraqis, this is what we did for you. Now, later on, when something like that happens, make sure you do the same for us. It doesn't work that way, you know, in football. But they will still put it in the head of the Iraqis to remind them. "11 on the pitch for Thailand. 4 of them related brothers, Supachok and Sufanat, and of course the Oksomsri twins, Titawi and Titaton. It's a family affair, and it always feels that way when it comes to Thai football. These days, Akira Nishino is part of the family. And first time he's managing outside of Japan. He's preached patience for his players to understand his philosophy, not just the juniors, but also the senior side. It's almost getting there for the seniors. But for the juniors, they probably are on a steeper curve and have probably gotten there ahead of the seniors with their displays in this tournament. Whatever goes on, that first match and that 5-0 win against Bahrain will live long in the memory of everyone who witnessed it here at the Rajamangala Stadium. They've worked 1-2 well enough. Super Chok on the ball right now. The perfect person that they have on the ball who can make things happen and orchestrate things. Giving it back to his brother Sufanat. Happy to play it right back and make sure that it's recycled and make sure that it's kept by a player in blue. Played at the back. Super Chok heading it inside for Sufanat. It came off the youngster. It's going to be a goal kick. Muntadeh, that's the reason why he's been brought on, just to add that physical presence. The moment he brought on Supachai, Muntadeh was called on. Just that extra intimidating factor which Iraq might need. 12 minutes remaining, 12 agonizing minutes for supporters of both sides. Now it's the turn of the ties to go down and remind the Iraqis what they did earlier on. I told you they're not going to return the favor. Doesn't work that way in football. Murad apologizes. Sufanat taking him out. Iraq win the free kick. Oh, it's the player who was reminding Meche earlier on of the good deed they did. Supachok, Sufanat. That is a very composed ball to Warachit, and that is a brilliant ball. Speared outside to Jaroensak. He's got space to operate in now. Jaroensak Wong on. Only Supachai in the middle to aim for. Too close to the goalkeeper. Might have done better to hold on to it a little longer. Muhammad Rida. Murad. Not enough juice behind that ball. Wasn't very good that time from Kanarin, who's cut a very nervous figure throughout. Are they going to give a delayed free kick? They are now. Titaton is not happy at all with the assistant referee for that late flag. He thought he did nothing wrong against Murad, and he's making a meal out of it. Murad Mohamed Sube. Well, to be fair, Titaton did make a move towards him. And that was the correct decision. It was obstruction. Anon Amon Lertsak might be called onto the bench for the final 10 minutes of this match. Will he come on with Thailand in still that firm position to qualify for the quarterfinals with a draw, or will he come on with a team trailing? Well, let's see how they defend this after Titaton had given away a very cheap free kick. This is compelling viewing. It's edge of the seat stuff. And it's livened up a match which had everything in the first half with both teams going for it. Supachok. Ball's cleared out once again to the man with pace. Jaroensak. Supachai. Warachit. Supachok. And here is Jaroensak Wongon. Exactly what the Thais are told to do, and they are doing it with Kanarin. Rescuing the situation after a dodgy ball played out by Warachit. Supachok, who can hold on to the ball forever. Warachit kan Bunfsen. The crowd applauding the football played by the Thais here because it's composed. It's a come get it from us plea to the Iraqis if you're brave enough. Sufanat Mwanta turn into trouble, then turn away from it. Still Sufanat. Well, surely the referee should have called it back for an earlier foul on him because he was taken out. Here is Metche. Murad, space to run into. Only Titaton ahead of him. That is a very clever ball spread outside to Hussein. Hussein on target, but not powerful enough and venomous enough to beat the goalkeeper. Seven minutes remaining. Is there going to be a hero from Iraq? It might even be a hero from Thailand if someone helps them cling on to this draw. Supanat, Supachai behind the defense. Supanat with place, and it had to be defended in the end by Najim. Didn't trust the goalkeeper to get to it, so he decided to take responsibility all by himself. What a dink that one was. What a dink that one was by Supachai. As Supanat bared in on goal. Kritsada come in, will come on and take the place of Kanarin. The destroyer in the team, Kritsada, benched today because he looked very tired in the final 10 minutes against Australia, where he picked up a yellow card. Well, in the 2018 Under-19 Championships, when these two sides met 2 years ago, Kritsada Kamen actually scored the opening goal of that game. Turned out to be the opening goal of the tournament too. And let's see if he can score again against the Iraqis. He has a chance getting right up there. What a brilliant cross that one was. Just no one running across. It was Sarin Khan who should be doing that. That's how he gets the bulk of his goals, having scored 6 already for the under-23s. The goal-scoring centre-back just a little tad too slow in moving forward and getting in front of the defence. Ali Kadim nowhere to be found. Magnificent delivery, wasn't it, from Supachok. Jarawansak will take this. Are they going short again? Are they just going to be swinging it right in? They do the former. Space opening up for the shot to come in. It was taken from way outside by that man who scored, of course, against Iraq at the under-19s, Kritsada. And the final substitution from Iraq, Omer Abdul Rahman, who was warming up for the longest of times, finally takes the place of Muhammad Rida, who you'd have to say has had a very disappointing game. It's made up of sterner stuff than what he's produced tonight. Sarin Khan just stepping in yet again. Kritsada happy to protect the defense with all the jealousy in the world. Well, pinging those passes, really not a very much part of his game. But as long as he goes in with the slide challenges on the likes of Kasim and Hussein, that's all the Thais care about, as they've got 5 more minutes to hang on to this point. That'll take them into the quarterfinals for the very first time in the AFC Under-23s. This is where the crowd needs to just gather and raise the decibels a bit more, just to see the team through to the finish line. It's nervous moments. Hussein, teammate offside, he couldn't pass the ball. Here is Jaro Ensak. Crowd lights up every time he has possession of the ball. Referee plays the advantage because the Iraqis have the ball now. Mustafa. Substitute Omar Abdul Rahman. Couldn't get the better of Titaton. Right down into dessert, alongside Japan as Asia's representative in Tokyo. Thailand will be one more step closer in doing that for the first time since 1968. The first time since, as an under-23 side, since that tournament was turned into an under-23 event in 1992. Najim decides to take it on all by himself, going solo. Brada. Medja just flicking it into space. Mustafa with acres of space. Measured this one beautifully, saved by the goalkeeper, and Thailand just pluck it away. They escape. Korafat, right place, right time to pull off something out of the ordinary. Oh my word, the keeper has saved them and really kept them in this game. And you'd have to say the men in between the stakes, not just Thailand, but also Iraq, Karim and Korafat, they have been the superstars of the night. Not over yet. As Iraq keep their hopes alive, the ball had already gone out. Omar Abdulrahman cannot believe it. But the assistant referee flagged. But this was the opportunity. It's a delightful cross. And Murad got himself at the end of it with a header down that any other time, any other place, any other occasion would have beaten the goalkeeper, but not Korafat. Hardly moved, just stood his ground, and the ball came straight at him. And the Iraqis have got 4 minutes to find the winner. The Thais have got 4 minutes to the dreamland called the quarterfinals. VAR check here. We started the game with a controversial penalty. Are we going to end the game in one now? Adham Mohammed Makhadme of Jordan was told to go to the sides to look at the screens. This time, the officials in the tower made the check and made the decisions up themselves and said no penalty. Sufanat in the way of a ball that was speared down the line, and in some ways he feels that he's got to make up to his teammates for missing those chances in the first half. Surely that's a free kick. It breaks the way though of Sufanat Moanta. Clever, so too for his brother Supachok, who is so very strong. Well, a little bit of tuck back that time on Najim, who is down injured. His teammates are asking him to get up because they don't have time. Sufanat is trying some piece of gamesmanship right now, as he holds on to the ball for a while. The Iraqis not happy with it. Najim will get up, and he might be needed inside the opponent's penalty box, as Abdul Ghani Shahad is trying to escape the ignominy of being knocked out of the group stages for the very first time in the history of this tournament for Iraq. Supachai, who limped off injured against the Australians at the end of another big challenge. They look glum, don't they, the Iraqis? The Thais are hoping to carry this party mood on to the final 2 minutes of this match. Whatever it is, if you're a neutral, this is such brilliant viewing. This is what football is all about. If you're a fan of either side, just have to close your eyes and start saying little prayers. One of them will be answered. Hussein trying to work the angle out to fashion a shot. Couldn't find the correct pass. Well, you know that it's nervous moments when a clearance like that from Kritsada is cheered as if he scored a goal. The Iraqis get at the end of it. Qasim, Hussein. It is in play. The goalkeeper screams out to Sufanat that he's got time on the ball. Happy to take the challenge, Sufanat Muenta. But he gives the ball away in a very dangerous position. Omar Abdulrahman flicked inside. Again, first to the ball was a Thai player. Kritsada come in. Seconds remaining. The ball's flung in. Sarin Khan with a heroic header. Sadiq finding space, needs the angle for the cross. Murad. Oh, it was a dive. That was a clear dive. The referee says get up. I was hopeful, and that was disgraceful. The Thais will play this out. It's Kritsada on the ball. He's got support in Jadawinsak, the man who got things going with a penalty goal. And he will hold it up for a long time. Head to the corner flag, son. Maybe the wrong corner flag. He's heading backwards now. Throw into Iraq. The referee might just book Hasim for that disgraceful dive, trying to calm the referee. It's played at the back. They've left it, and the hero of the moment gets hold of the ball. Korafat Narichan. Huge cheers from the Thais for the goalkeeper. Korafat, who has saved them with that last-minute save off the header by Murad. Unbelievable scenes here in Bangkok. They came into this tournament as no-hopers, having not won a match before, Thailand. But here they are, already with a match won in this tournament, and now through to the quarterfinals for the very first time in the AFC U23 tournament. Iraq knocked out of the group stages for the very first time. It's dreamland in Bangkok. It's a party tonight all the way through until the quarterfinal stage as they move an inch closer to Tokyo 2020. Unbelievable scenes. It started off with that penalty goal by Jadawinsak Wongon, and then nervous moments as they held on right to the end because the Iraqis scored early on. The fifth time that they've had to come back in this tournament. Qasim with his third goal, not good enough though, because it's another draw. 3 draws from 3 matches, and they are knocked out of the competition for the very first time at the group stages. Thailand are through second in the group. They will face the winners of Group B in the quarterfinals. They are there for the very first time, and from here on, who knows what might happen for a Thai side hell-bent on qualifying for the Olympic Games of 2020. Recap of the goals again. That penalty sneaked in by Jadawinsak, and then early in the second half, come back as Kadim scored that goal against